Three, two, one, and action. What is up, Travels with Buddy Nation on the Travels with Buddy station? Today is Saturday, June 17th. It's a cloudy, rainy day and not great for walking, unless you like walking in the rain. But for today's exercises, we're going to do some gentle stretching. And I think stretching is very important, especially if your muscles are sore in between weightlifting workouts or in between doing, physical activities or whatever. The stretching is very good. I think it's a very underrated form of exercise. I don't think people stretch as much as they should. And I think stretching is just as important as weight training or doing cardio and all that other stuff. It's very important. You gotta stretch those muscles, right, bud? And I don't know if we're gonna go for a walk. I'd go for a walk in the rain, but this guy doesn't like to go for a walk in the rain, huh, bud? He's not one to walk in the rain too much. But maybe tomorrow it'll be nice. But without further ado, I will demonstrate some stretching exercises. And bud, you can spot me from the other room. And maybe later, I got some errands to run. Maybe I'll take him for a ride later. That way there, well, he can get out of the house for a little bit. Huh, bud? And maybe when I'll walk him, I'll hold an umbrella over him so he doesn't get wet. And then I'll get wet. All right, bud. I'm gonna put you in the other room. He's grumpy because he knows it's raining outside. He can hear the raindrops tapping on the roof, huh, bud? Well, without further ado, I'm gonna put Bud in the other room and I will demonstrate those exercises. All right, bud? And you can spot me from the other room. And another important point when it comes to working out, a lot of people don't, a lot of people probably don't realize how important it is to breathe properly when you work out. It's very important to inhale deeply and exhale fully as well. It's very important. So before I do these exercises, I like to take at least 3 deep breaths. I like to inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And then I like to say the mantra. Om Namu Guru Dev Namu. Om Namu Guru Dev Namu. Om Namu Guru Dev Namu. And that means I bow to the teacher within. Even though I'm not necessarily doing any Kundalini yoga exercises today, but I am doing some gentle stretches that are very important, very underrated form of exercise. And the first one I'm going to do is it's a hamstring, but also a back stretch. And what you want to do is you want to put one leg out forward, bend your other leg in a position like this. I don't know the name of these exercises, but I know one thing is important is you want to touch your toes if you can. And a lot of people, when they do this exercise, they emphasize so much on stretching their hamstrings, but that's only part of the exercise. And it's not important to straighten your leg completely when you're doing this exercise. This exercise stretches so many more muscles than just your hamstrings. It stretches your back, your hips, the muscles in the back of your shoulders. And it stretches all those muscles to a very good degree. And if you're just focusing on keeping your legs straight while doing this exercise, you're going to miss out on on stretching all those other muscles. So just straighten your leg as far as you comfortably can. And it's not important to lock your knees out during this exercise at all. And then you want to bend forward as far as you comfortably can. Just gently. You want to hold this stretch for about 30 seconds to a minute. And while you're doing it, you want to come out of the stretch a little bit and then go into it. Go out of it and go into it without bouncing or straining or anything like that. And if you do these exercises properly, they feel very good. That's how you know you're doing the exercise properly. You can also drop your neck into your chest. And it's also very important to breathe while you're doing these stretches. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale deeply through the mouth. And you also, when you're inhaling and exhaling, you're slightly moving your body slightly while you're in the stretch. It's also very important. You're not rigid and just holding the stretch in one solid position. And you want to hold that for between 1 to 3 minutes, and then do the opposite leg. Again, grab the foot. Like I say, knees can be slightly bent. And hold for about a minute, and you can even move your feet around. Wiggle your feet around. You can feel the tension in your calves, your ankles, and all that just as you're just wiggling your feet around slightly. Don't forget to breathe. I know I talk through these exercises. But it's very important to breathe. Again, roll your neck around, bring your chin down towards your chest. Breathe all the way in. Exhale all the way out. Slightly move around within the exercise. Twisting your body gently. Just releasing all that tension that's in your body. I can hold that exercise for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, but I don't want to bore people that are watching it. Just to get the idea. Next exercise we're going to do is a groin stretch. This one basically we're going to do from squatting position. You're basically going to squat down on the balls of your feet. Your heels should be off the floor. Basically, I'll start with my left leg, and as you see, I got my left elbow against my left knee, and basically I'm just going to push my knee out. slightly, and just enough to get a nice stretch on my in the groin muscle area. And this is a good exercise to do, especially after you've done like squats or lunges or any kind of heavy leg strength training exercise. It's very good. And also during this exercise, you might want to twist. So I'm starting with my left leg, and I'm pushing my left knee outwards to stretch the groin with my left elbow. And you could also slightly twist to the right. Again, don't forget to breathe properly during this exercise. Excellent exercise to stretch the lower back, the hips, the neck, back of the shoulders. And again, move around slightly within this exercise or within this stretch. And also breathe deeply. And after about a minute, we'll do the opposite leg. Again, this time I'm going to use my right elbow, push my right knee outward, stretch my right groin. It doesn't just stretch the groin, it stretches the hips, the lower back, all those muscles. And most importantly, breathe. Breathe and also move around within the stretch. Just slightly move within the stretch. A lot of people, when they stretch, they forget those two elements. To breathe deeply, inhale, exhale, and also move within the stretch. Just flow within the stretch. All right. Whew. All right, that exercise felt so good, I almost didn't want to stop. But again, I know it's kind of boring to watch a little bit, but when you do this exercise, you feel how great it feels when you're doing the exercises properly within your own limitations and within your own physical capabilities. But the two important points to remember is to breathe deeply, inhale, exhale deeply, and to move around within the stretches. And that really helps move, the blood's flowing around, the muscles are being stretched, oxygen is being pushed through the body, and it's very good for you. Really good. It feels really great. Next exercise I'm going to do is going to stretch the hips and the quads. And it's good if you have a foosball to do this exercise, but if you don't, you can always lean back on a bench or something and stretch back as far as you comfortably can. And with this exercise, when I lay back on the foosball, I'm going to do this for about a minute. I'm going to bring my hips up in the air, try to push my hips up in the air as far as I comfortably can. And this is a great exercise for stretching the quadriceps, the hips, and basically just try to bring your hips up towards the ceiling as far as you comfortably can. And do this for about a minute. This is great for stretching the shin in the front part of the, which is a front part of your feet there, in front of your calves, whatever. Stretches the back. What's good about the foosball with it when you're doing this exercise, as I get more flexible, I can let air out of the foosball, which will bring my back lower to the floor, which will increase the stretch on my quadriceps and my hips and the front parts of my shins, which is very important to stretch those muscles as well. And I also notice I'm moving my arms slightly in this exercise. I'm stretching my chest, my shoulders, the front part of my shoulders. All of them areas get a nice, gentle stretch. All right, that exercise feels so good. All right, and the next couple exercises I'm going to do standing. My quad, that's a very, I just started doing that exercise and I noticed I get a very good stretch in my hips, which I get a lot of tension in my hips. And if you do a lot of sitting, if you're working in an office, you might get a lot of tension in your hips and your back. That's a great stretch for those areas. Really brings the tension, really gets the tension away from those muscles. All right, so the next exercise I'm going to do is another hamstring stretch. And again, I don't know the names of a lot of these exercises. I just do them and they feel great. And basically, this is a toe touch. Basically, again, you don't have to. Your knees don't need to be locked out. They can be slightly bent, and just bring your hands down as close as you can towards your feet. If you can touch the floor, that's great. I'm going to inhale and exhale. And you want to hold this stretch for about a minute. And remember to move around within the stretch. Bring your neck down towards your chin down towards your chest. Stretch the back of the neck, back of the shoulders. But we're focusing on the right leg. You can come up a little bit, lock your knee out when you get to the top a little bit. Just move around within the stretch. Essentially, that's what you got to learn to do in your stretches. Essentially, just move around within the stretch. You don't want to be static and still. You want to be flowing. Move around within the stretch. And breathe deeply. Next, do the opposite leg after about a minute or so. Stretch down as far as you comfortably can. Come back up. You might want to lock your knees out when you get to the top position slightly. Then when you're touching your toes, you might want to slightly bend your knees. And remember, it's not all about the hamstrings. It's also about the lower back, the hips, because all those muscles get stretched out when you touch your toes. It's not just the hamstrings. Because this feels, holding this position like this feels really, really great on the lower back, the hips, and I can drop my neck down, put my chin down to my chest, stretch my neck out. Really good exercise. Then you do a little stretch up with both hands, you know, opposite. Go from side to side. Just move around within the stretch. Your body will tell you what to do as you're doing the stretch. It'll tell you how to move in different ways and whatever. You'll feel the tension in different areas as you're doing the exercise. Everybody has muscle tension in slightly different areas depending on what you do from day to day. And as you're doing these exercises, you'll be able to feel where that tension is, and you can just slightly move your body to release the tension in those areas where you have that kind of tension, wherever it is. And I guarantee you, if you're doing the toe touches like that, even with your knees slightly bent, you'll feel tension in different parts of your lower back, your hips, your hamstrings, and you just angle your body towards those tight areas and just feel that tension release as you're stretching those areas, just slightly. You don't want to pull on them too hard and overstretch, because that would be counterproductive. And it'll end up tightening the muscles even more if you overstretch. That's why it's very important to just stretch gently. And I'm going to do one more final exercise. Basically this one, I'm just going to bring my hands up to the ceiling as high as I can. I'm going to do this for about a minute. Bring my arms back down, one arm at a time. Almost like I'm swimming. Alright, that was about a minute. You know, so I was bending my knees slightly in that exercise. I was also actually stretching my ankles as I was bending my knees down slightly as I was doing that exercise, arching my back slightly while I was doing that exercise. Felt really good. All that tension in my lower back is being released, in my shoulders, even in my ankles, because I'm kind of stretching my ankles as I'm bending my knee. Really good exercise. The key is when you're stretching is you got to find that tension where it's in your body and gently stretch it and move your body so you're stretching those tense muscles wherever they are. And like I say, that's slightly different for everybody, but that's the basic idea of how I stretch, and it feels really awesome when I stretch like that. All right, remember, if you like these videos, remember to subscribe to Travels with Buddy. Give these exercises a try. And also, don't forget to take those walks. All right, everybody. Peace out.